Adam here from the KP Movement Institute. In today's video, we're going to be talking all about body weight training, specifically how you can modify your body weight exercises to increase their challenge and difficulty. Now, body weight training in and of itself is not fancy and it's not flashy. It's something that's often overlooked because we don't see it as a viable option to achieve really quality results. But the truth is, in today's climate with a pandemic and more people working and training from home, it's become a necessity. We have to learn how to better train with body weight or at least minimal equipment to still achieve progress and results, which means that we have to figure out a way to push past plateaus and increase the stress into the system so it's able to adapt. Now, what we're going to discuss are 8 different ways or methods that you can add to your body weight training in order to increase their difficulty, to increase the intensity, or at least the perceived intensity from your body. Now, all of these can be modified based off of your level, whether you're a beginner or an advanced lifter, and they can be used whether you're at home, on vacation, away traveling for work, or simply if you want to add something a little bit different to your training program. So we're going to go through each of these in order, and there's going to be separate videos to show you with a little bit of voiceover to help you better understand them. Now, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and comment on this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Let's go. Let's begin with isometric pre-fatigue. Pre-fatiguing a particular muscle group is a common tactic in resistance training. It helps to increase the total number of muscle fibers recruited by first fatiguing the muscles most commonly used, so the body then recruits additional muscle fibers to complete any subsequent repetitions. In order to implement this, you're going to begin each set of an exercise with an isometric hold at the hardest point in the movement. And then once you're done, you're going to then perform as many repetitions as you can with good form. Now, the length of the isometric hold can be varied to suit your level of abilities and the difficulty of the exercise. So if the movement's quite easy for you, meaning that you can complete more than 30 repetitions with no hold, or you can complete more than 12 repetitions with a hold, then you can increase the hold time or slow down the repetitions, but anywhere between 10 and 30 seconds of hold will work. Key coaching point is to make sure that you try to create maximum tension during your isometric hold, so recruiting as much muscle fiber as possible at the bottom or the hardest part of that exercise. Next, we're going to look at Intra-Set Isometrics. The Intra-Set Isometric increases the amount of fatigue the muscle experiences, much like the isometric pre-fatigue, but it also adds a within-set stretch. To implement this, we're going to add 3 holds within each set and do repetitions after each hold. So as an example, we may perform a 10-second hold at the bottom position of a push-up, then do 5 repetitions and repeat this 3 times. When you're looking at progressing and regressing this, you can try playing with the hold times and the number of repetitions after each hold. A key coaching point is to make sure that you try to create maximum tension during those isometric holds, much like we did with the isometric pre-fatigue. Intra-Rep Isometrics. During our Intra-Rep Isometrics, we're going to look at pausing at different points throughout each repetition. This is going to allow us to increase not only the total time the muscle's under tension, but also play with the amount of elastic recoil that we have from that eccentric phase. So this increases the level of fatigue while also strengthening specific points within the range of motion of that exercise. To implement this, during each repetition, you're going to look at pausing 1 to 3 times at various points throughout the range of motion. Hold times can range between 3 to 6 seconds depending on the number of pauses. So the more pauses means shorter holds. Holds performed during the eccentric or the lowering phase of the movement will be easier than holds performed during the concentric or the lifting phase of the movement. When you're looking at progressing or regressing this, you can progress by either performing more repetitions per set under the same conditions, or by maintaining the same number of repetitions while changing the number of pauses or the hold time. Make sure, like the previous two methods, you try to create maximum tension during your isometric holds. Slow eccentrics. The eccentric phase of the movement is when you can create the highest amount of tension within the muscle. By slowing this phase down, you end up getting the highest level of tension for the longest period of time. More tension for longer means better results, specifically when we're looking at increasing muscle mass. This is especially useful for exercises that you cannot perform concentrically. For many pull-ups, dips, push-ups, many of the upper body exercises that require us to push a lot of our own body weight. To implement this, begin by performing a slow eccentric or a negative repetition, and then go up normally. Try starting with a 5 to 8 lowering, so eccentric phase, and perform as many repetitions as you can. If you're looking at doing pull-ups and you can't pull yourself up, use a box to jump yourself above the bar and then slowly lower yourself down. If you're doing a push-up, just simply drop your knees to the ground, push yourself up from the knees, and then straighten your legs back out and do the eccentric with straight legs. When you're looking at progressing this, you can progress by slowing the eccentric even more, by adding a pause within the eccentric, or by adding additional repetitions. Key coaching point is to ensure proper form and balance for all eccentric exercises. So for every single exercise you do, it's key to have proper form. Darden 30-10-30. This method is a combination of performing slow eccentrics and performing regular repetitions. Slow eccentrics are going to, once again, increase the tension created within the muscle and increase the total amount of time under tension. To implement this, start by performing a 30-second eccentric phase, then immediately do 10 repetitions. Once your 10 repetitions are completed, finish off with one final 30-second eccentric. If you're looking at progressing or regressing this, play with the repetitions. If 10 repetitions are too easy, simply increase the number of repetitions. If it's too difficult, lower the repetitions. Key coaching point is to control the eccentrics during the 10 repetitions. So don't just pop up and down if you're doing a squat. Make sure that you control the descent. Tempo contrast. This method involves alternating between slow and normal repetition speeds within the same set. This is a great way to stimulate muscle growth, as different speeds will emphasize different muscle fiber types. To implement this, begin by alternating between 2 slow repetitions and 2 fast repetitions until the desired number of repetitions has been completed. If you're looking at progressing this, if it's too easy, you can simply change to a more difficult variation of the exercise or try adding some sort of external load. If it's too hard, do the opposite. The key coaching point is you're going to want to use the same form with both the slow and the fast repetitions. Regressive range of motion. This method uses regressive or smaller ranges of motion as you approach fatigue or failure during a set. It is best used for exercises where you can only perform a maximum of 12 to 15 repetitions, or for an exercise that can be completed with some form of external load. To implement this, begin by performing repetitions using the full range of motion as you normally would. As you approach fatigue, shorten the range of motion and continue completing partial repetitions. If you want to progress this exercise, or you're trying to use this method with an exercise that can easily be performed for 20 to 30 plus repetitions, simply use a short static hold at the beginning to pre-fatigue the muscle, or try the next method. The key coaching point is to maintain a slower tempo through all repetitions. Partial repetitions should be at the top of the range of motion. Progressive range of motion. This method is similar to the first method, or isometric pre-fatigue, but instead of holding an isometric, we are going to perform partial repetitions at the top and bottom of the range of motion before completing the full range of motion repetitions. This is best used for exercises that you can perform a high number of repetitions, so 20 to 30 plus repetitions. To implement this, begin by performing a set number of third or half repetitions of the movement at the bottom of the range of motion. Follow this with an equal number of third or half repetitions at the top end of the range of motion. Once you finish, complete the desired number of full repetitions or until fatigue or failure. To progress this, increase the total number of repetitions. The key coaching point here is do not perform so many partial repetitions that you take away from the effectiveness of the full repetitions. Each repetition should be completed with a slow tempo. There are obviously some other methods that you can utilize to increase the challenge of your body weight training that we didn't discuss in this video, but this should give you a good starting point when you're looking at expanding your body weight training repertoire, whether you're designing programs for clients or just looking for different ways to train for yourself. Now, in future videos, we're going to be looking at how we can add some external resistance using tools that are inexpensive and travel well. So make sure to check those out, and we'll see you next time.